Hello, welcome to Dave's Cards and Sports Games. I'm Dave. Hope you're having a great weekend here. Late Sunday, now early Monday morning. We are opening up the 1977 here. I'm showing off my 1977 set before I put it into sleeves and an album. And for those of you who didn't see what the 77 wrapper looks like, there's the 1977 Topps baseball wrapper. You could get yourself a locker for just a couple of bucks, 75 cents. Let's see what you would have had to have done to get that wrapper. $4.75 and 75-cent shipping. Get yourself a Topps baseball card locker. So there you go, Topps baseball. We are doing the second half. If you haven't seen the first half yet, be sure to check it out. Jim Colburn, Elliot Maddox, Paul Ruschel, Bill Stein, Bill Robinson, Danny Doyle, Ron Schuler, he played for the Twins. Once again, I'm from Minnesota, so I know a lot of goofy things like that. Dave Duncan, Adrian Devine, Hal McRae. I also know all the players that are from Minnesota pretty much. Joe Kerrigan, Jerry Remy. He's the announcer. I don't know if he's still the announcer for the Red Sox or if he retired. Jerry Remy. Ed Halicki, Brian Downing, Reggie Smith, Bill Singer played for the Twins, George Foster, Brent Strom, Jim Holt, Larry Dierker, Jim Sundberg, Mike Phillips, Stan Thomas. Let's look at the Pirates, coached by Chuck Tanner. Love the zoom on this new camera. Lou Brock, Hall of Famer. Checklist unmarked, very nice. Tim McCarver. I can't remember if he's in the Hall or not. He might be. Tom House, Willie Randolph, Rick Monday, Eduardo Rodriguez, Tommy Davis, Dave Roberts, Vic Correll, Mike Torres. We're looking at the 1977 set. Ted Sizemore, Dave Hamilton, every card, every player. Terry Humphrey, John, the Count, Monofusco. How about the Royals and Whitey Herzog? Let's see if we can find him in the picture here. Look how blurry the picture is when you get close to it. It looks good from back here. However, you get close, you really can't tell who these guys are too much. I think it's George Brett right there. I guess you can tell some of them. All right. Rich Folkers, Bert Campaneris, Kent DeCalve, submarine pitcher, Larry Heisel, Nino Espinoza, Dave McKay, longtime coach with Tony La Russa, won some World Series rings. Jim Umbarger, Larry Cox, Lee May, RBI leader that year. Let's see what else he did. 109 RBIs, 25 homers. Led the league, only 61 runs scored. Led the league in RBIs. Bob Forsch. We already saw Ken Forsch. There's Charlie Moore. Nice looking card. Stan Bonson, Darrell Cheney, Dave LaRoche, and Manny Mota. We'll just do 14 more here to get to card number 400, so I have a stack made. Billy Martin and the Yankees. Nice card. There's Martin, and Martin's head's not even faded. You really don't notice when you look at the card? But look at this. Martin's not even looking at the camera. Martin's looking to his right somewhere. First time I've ever noticed that. Everybody else looks like they're looking at the camera. But if you look at Billy Martin, no, he's not looking at the camera. Looking to the right. It's kind of interesting because you really can't tell with your eyes when you look at it really quick. You kind of can, but you really can on the zoom. Terry Harmon, Ken Kravik, Dave Winfield from St. Paul, one of 4 Hall of Famers from St. Paul. Winfield, Morris, Molitor, and Mauer. That's amazing. Phil Roof, John Lowenstein, Bill Laxton, Manny Trio, Tom Murphy, Larry Herndon, Tom Bergmeyer, Bruce Busclair, and look at that, Steve Garvey. Should be in the Hall of Fame. Can't remember if he made it this year. I don't think he did. I think it was Richie Allen, Dave Parker. I'm blanking out on the other guy. Mickey Scott, Tommy Helms. I have to replace that one. Not many I have to replace, though. Tom Grieve, Eric Rasmussen, Claudel Washington, Tim Johnson, Dave Friesbellen, Cesar Tovar played for the Twins. Played every position in a game once. Let's see if it talks about it. Guess you can't. Played all 9 positions. Pete Broberg, Willie Montanez. Now we get to the World Series. Morgan homers an opener. Bench stars as Reds take game 2. Reds defense stops Yankees. Bench 2 homers, wraps it up. They swept the Yankees. But there's Thurman Munson charging in there. Here's Johnny Bench hitting a homer. Trying to see who the coach was there. Bench stars, and he's doing nothing. All right. Oh, then the Reds won the World Series, so we're going to see him jumping up and down. There you go, Reds. Tommy Harper, Jay Johnstone, he had a show in the 80s for kids in baseball. Can't remember the name. I think it was called the Baseball Bunch. Chuck Hartenstein, Wayne Garrett. How about Bob Lemon, great player, managing the White Sox in their funky little 70s jerseys. Steve Swisher, sweet. Rusty Staub, one of my favorites. Doug Rao, Freddie Patek, Gary LaValle, Steve Bry, Joe Torre, Dick Drago, Dave Radar. How about the Rangers and Frank Lucchesi? Ken Boswell, Fergie Jenkins, Dave Collins. The guy could hit. The guy was good with the Reds. How old was he here? 24. Buzz Capper. Let's turn back the clock and look at Nate Colbert in 72. 5 homers and 13 RBIs in a doubleheader. How about Collier Yastrzemski winning the Triple Crown 10 years ago? Let's go 15 years ago and see Maury Wills stealing 104 bases. That looks like a blowout game, because I see it's 10 runs already for the Giants. Kind of a weird-looking board because the one looks down. Turn back the clock. Let's go 20 years and see Keegan. Only 1 no-hitter that year. Bob Keegan. Ralph Kiner leads the NL for 7th straight year in homers. There's Money Perez, Gorman Thomas, home run hitter and struck out a lot. John Matlack, Larville Blanks. Back to coaching, the Braves, Dave Bristol. Lamar Johnson, Wayne Twitchell, Ken Singleton, good hitter. His kid plays right now for the Houston Astros. Bill Bonham, Jerry Turner, Ellie Rodriguez. Al Fitzmaurice, Pete Rose. Wonder if he might get a Hall of Fame votes now that he's deceased. Nice card there, Pete. Let's see how many hits he had at this point in his career. 2,700 hits already. Checklist unmarked. Mike Caldwell, Pedro Garcia, Andy Etchebarren, Rick Wise, Leon Roberts, Steve Luber, Leo Foster, Steve Foucault. I think he's from Minnesota. Duluth. Willie Stargell, Dick Tidrow, Don Baylor. Helped the Twins win the 1987 World Series, and you can tell he was traded because that's a very crappy-looking A. Must have been from the A's. I would say Orioles, but it was either an Oriole or an A. It had to be an A's helmet. Jamie Quirk. I don't know if he still has it, but he was at one time the all-time home run leader with the letter Q. Randy Moffat, Rico Cardi, Fred Holdsworth, Danny Ozark. Gonna have to do something about some of these team cards, though. I'm gonna have to probably pay about $5 each and get all my team cards fixed. A lot of them had writing on it. Ramon Hernandez, Pat Kelly, Ted Simmons, a great player. Del Lunser. Let's see the rookies. Don Ace, Bob McClure, they both play that I know of. How about Andre Dawson? great player. Gene Richard. Denny Walling had a decent little career too. But that's the card you're looking for. The Hawk. Kiko Garcia played many years for the Orioles. Bob Baylor played many years for the Blue Jays. Craig Reynolds, same thing for the Pirates. And Alex Taveras. I believe there's a Reynolds right now that's playing. That's his son. Rick Camp had a decent career. Manny Sarmiento did too. So did Scott McGregor. Some good pitchers on that card. Rick Cerrone had a long career. Dale Murphy. Another guy that I would say should be in the Hall of Fame. Doug Ault had a little career. Rich Dower had a little career. Don't know about the bottom two guys. A lot of rookies. Jim Gideon, never heard of him. And look at the size they painted that TC on that hat. Leon Houghton. Dave Johnson. And Lamongello. Don't know any of those guys. Hasselstein, Wayne Gross played. Elvis Woods played. Sam Mahias, I don't remember him. And now we're back to the cards. Carl, yes, Stremski, 480. Roger Metzger, Tony Salita, Richie Zisk, liked him. Bert, Happy Hooten, and he's always happy. See how happy Hooten is? Roy White, Ed Bain. More rookies. Larry Anderson, Ed Glenn. Joe Henderson, Terlecki. Don't really know any of them. I think Larry Anderson pitched a little bit. Jack Clark, nice career for Jack. Liam Mazzilli, too. Len Barker pitched a perfect game. Randy Lurch pitched a lot. Greg Minton had a nice career. Pretty good cards. Can't believe all the rookies. Bill Ullman played for the White Sox. Mickey Klutz played for a while. I think Klutz, can't remember what team he mostly played for, though. Danny Martinez played a long time. Tony Armas was a power hitter for the Oakland A's and then played for the Red Sox. Steve Kemp, also a power hitter for the Tigers and the Yankees. A lot of good names here for the rookie set. They guessed a lot of them right. Mike Krukow. Bump Wills, decent player. Jim Cantner had a great career. Al Herboski. There's the Cardinal hat I was talking about in the first video. Cardinals, Pirates, and Phillies all wore 100-year-old hats from back in the day from about 1976 in lieu of the bicentennial. So they all wore their hats for those original teams that they all played in the National League back in 1876. Gary Thomason, Clay Carroll, Sal Bando, Pablo Torrealba, Dave Kingman, Kong, Jim Bibby, Randy Hundley, Bill Lee. In 1977, I was 11. Tommy Lasorda. There he is. Look how distorted it is. That's Tommy Lasorda. Oscar Gamble, Steve Grilly, Mike Hagan, Dave Pagan, Cookie Rojas, John Candelaria, Bill Fahey, Jack Billingham, Jerry Terrell, Cliff Johnson, Chris Spire, and Bake McBride. Dave Kingman was card number 500. He must have had a monster year. Let's check it out. 37 bombs, only a .230 batting average. Pete Vukovich. How about the Cubs? They didn't have a stadium card because I really don't know why. They never really had stadium cards. Maybe the pitchers are better at night. I don't understand it. But the Cubs always, every year when they did their cards, did it like this, not like at Wrigley Field. Herman Franks was the coach. Don Kirkwood, Gary Maddox. That's when I was thinking of before, and I've seen Matthews. Bobby Grich, Enzo Hernandez, Raleigh Fingers, Hall of Famer. Roland Office, Dennis Eckersley, Hall of Famer. Cards in good shape. Larry Parrish, another good player. Dan Meyer had a decent career for the M's. Castro, Jim Essien, Rick Russo, good pitcher. Lyman Bostock, a fantastic hitter, unfortunately died in Gary, Indiana. He was shot. Once he was, I can't remember if he was traded from the Twins and he died, or if he was traded to the Angels and died. Jim Willoughby, Mickey Stanley, Paul Splittorff, great starting pitcher for the Royals. Cesar Geronimo, Vic Alberry, Dave Roberts, Frank Tavares, Mike Wallace, not the CBS 60 Minutes reporter. Bob Watson, good home run hitter. John Denny, great pitcher. Frank Duffy, Ron Bloomberg, Gary Ross, Bob Boone. Father Ray's son is Brett and Aaron, his two sons. Earl Weaver, let's find Earl. There he is. Little better pitcher little less distorted than some of the other ones. Willie McCovey. Willie McCovey doesn't even get a 5 or a 0. That's terrible. For a guy that's in the Hall of Fame. Joel Youngblood, Jerry Royster. Randy Jones just had a monster year. 2.7. Look at the year before. 2.24 ERA. 2 years, 20 wins in a row, and I think he blew his arm out. Bill North. Pepe Manguel. Jack Heidemann. Bruce Kim. Disco Dan Ford. He would go to the discotheques of the Twin Cities when he was on his days off. Doug Bird, Jerry White. That's why he got the name Disco. Elias Sosa, Alan Bannister, Dave Concepcion, one of the greatest fielding shortstops of all time. Pete Lecoq, Checklist, Bruce Keeson, Alan Ashby, Mickey Lolich. Lolich had a pretty good year in 1971, 25 wins. Rick Miller, Enos Cabell, took his hat off for that pop-up. Carlos May, Jim Lonberg. We're closing in on the end. Bobby Bonds, Barry Bonds' father, and he had a great career himself. Darrell Evans, also a good player. Ross Grimsley, Joe Ferguson, Aurelio Rodriguez. How about Dick Ruthven, Fred Kendall? Jerry Augustine gets the Topps Rookie Cup. Bob Randall, Don Carruthers, he played for the Twins. George Brett, better be a good number, 580. So not a great number for George Brett. Pedro Bourbon, Ed Kirkpatrick, Paul Lindblad, Ed Goodson, Rick the Rooster Burleson, Steve Renko, Rick Baldwin, Dave Moats, Mike Cosgrove, Buddy Bell, always one of my favorites. Anytime your name is Buddy, you have to be pretty cool back when you were a kid. 11 years old, how do you not like a guy named Buddy? Chris Arnold, Dan Briggs, Dennis Blair, Biff Pacoroba. Pacoroba? I can't remember that one. Remember, I'm in an American League town back when I was 11. John Hiller, Jerry Martin. How about this one? There are the M's. Darrell Johnson was a decent player. Don Bryant, Jim Busby, Wes Stock, and I didn't know Veda Pinson. Brand new team. Sparky Lyle. Mike Tyson, not the boxer. Jim Palmer. Card number 600. Mike Lum. Andy Hassler. Willie Davis. Trying to think if he was the MVP or was his brother. Was Tommy Davis was the MVP. But they both played for the Dodgers. I mean, once again, a great career. 2,500 hits. That should be close to Hall of Fame caliber. Jim Slayton, Felix Milan, Steve Braun. That's a pretty good color job there. Made it look like it's really an M on the hat. Larry Demery, Roy Howell, Jim Barr, Jose Cardinal. Played for the Twins. Did not play for the Twins. I thought there was another Cardinal. Cardenas played for the Twins back in the late 60s. Dave Lemenchik, Barry Foote, Reggie Cleveland. We're wrapping up the video. Phil Niekro, Hall of Famer. Tommy Sant, not in the Hall of Fame. Bobby Darwin, Pat Dobson, Johnny Oates. Don Sutton. Tigers, coached by Ralph Houck. Jim Wolford, Jack Cusick. Hector Cruz. Ken Holtzman. Al Bumbry, good hitter. Bob Myrick. Mario Guerrero. Bobby Valentine. Now we're going to see some big league brothers coming up. There's Bert Behomble, 11. Hall of Famer. One of the best curveballs ever. How about George Brett and Ken Brett? One was very good. One played a couple of years. Bob Forster, Ken Forster. Both good pitchers. Lee May and Carlos May. Very cool card. Paul Ruschel and Rick Ruschel. I think Rick was the better known. Robin Yount, Hall of Famer. That's his third-year card. Card number 635. Already off to a hot start as a rookie. Boy, they gave him a 5. Really didn't do much. I think he was really young here, though. He was only 22. Santo Alcala. Alex Johnson. I think the Twins have a guy named Alcala right now. I wonder if it's related. Talking about Twins, how about Jim Cott, Hall of Famer? Jerry Morales. Carlton Fisk. I want to quickly... How about Dan Larson, Willie Crawford, Mike Pazik, Matt Alexander, Jerry Royce, Andres Mora, Expos, and Dick Williams coached a World Series for the Oakland A's and the Padres. Jim Spencer, Dave Cash, Nolan Ryan, card number 650. Von Joshua. Tommy Walker. Diego Segui. Ron Pruitt. Tony Perez, Hall of Famer. Cool looking card. Ron Guidry. Great pitcher for the Yankees. Nick Kelleher. Marty Patton. Merv Rettenmoon. And the final card is Willie Horton. Once again, hope you're enjoying my videos. This is Dave's Cards at Sports Games. We just did the 1971 complete set. Showed you what the cards all look like. Hope you're having a great day. And once again, we have had about 80 people subscribe in the last 10 days or so. We thank you. We thank everybody for subscribing. And I'll keep on posting videos. Hope you like them all. If you have any questions or want to comment, please do so. I like to respond. Have a good day. Dave's Cards and Sports Games on YouTube.